Recently, I took my two friends, Evander Holyfield and Darryl Strawberry, to Winthrop University Hospital in Long Island. We met with several patients whose lives were saved by the hospital's cutting-edge technology and dedicated staff. One of the people that we met that day had such an incredible story that I had to give him his own personal hookup. In 2002, Ricky Bruno was a 17-year-old high school kid with a scholarship to West Point. The picture of health, Ricky was on the lacrosse team, wrestling team, and was co-captain of his championship-winning football team. His future looked very bright, until one day, everything changed.
New Year's Eve morning, I woke up and my hand was shaking violently. And I went to go stop it, still not knowing what was going on. Walked out to my couch with my two brothers, and I think they were playing PlayStation or something, and said something along the lines of, I just don't feel well. And my hand started shaking again.
He came out all dazed, and he eventually had a seizure, basically right where I'm sitting on these couches. And I knew it was a seizure right away.
After a call to 911, emergency responders quickly took Ricky to the hospital. Ricky was in and out of consciousness.
I woke up in the ambulance, and then I woke up, I think in New Island Hospital.
We got up to the hospital, and when I got there, the doctors were there, and they kept picking up his arms, and he kept dropping one. They said, your son has a brain tumor. And he said, we can't treat him here. We have to transfer him, to Winthrop Hospital.
Ricky underwent emergency brain surgery. The next few days of recovery would be critical.
Woke up in the ICU and heart monitors, everything all over me, still not knowing what was going on. Turned to my right, my father was there.
Some point during the night, he said, and this is a 17-year-old kid talking to you now. He said, Dad, if things don't work out for me, I just want to let you know I'm okay with it.
Ricky Bruno was staring death in the face.
So there was a knock on the door one afternoon, and it was a priest from my parish. And he came in, and we sat on the couch. My father was there, and we talked for a while, and he did some blessings and broke out some ointments, and he left, and I didn't think anything of it. And it was the last rites.
Ricky Bruno had accepted death, but life wasn't done with him yet. After surviving surgery, it was time to face a grim diagnosis.
On the way home, and I'll always remember this, it was right outside the Roosevelt Field Mall.
I just turned to him and said, so, son, how do you feel about, having cancer?
That was the first time that I was like, oh boy, here we go.
I'm not sure he fully realized he had cancer, and he knew he had a brain operation, and there was a problem, and something was taken out, and there was going to be therapy following up. But I don't think the C word, if you will, cancer, was ever really spoken.
As soon as he told me, I wept, wept, and by the time I was home, it was just, let's do it, let's get through it.
And then we got home, and then, his dreams of going to West Point, stopped.
He was going to West Point on a scholarship to play lacrosse for them. I couldn't. They kind of took it back, which is understandable. My best friend who took me to the treatment at the time, he still went. So I stayed home and went to Nassau Community College. And fast forward up until the point where my best friend who did go to West Point graduated. I saw him graduate. I saw the vice president speak to them and tell them that they were all going to war. And I wasn't going to have my best friend go to war without me. So I made him promise me that he would help me do everything I could to fix the issue that I couldn't join up, because I had to be 5 years in remission. So we went down to Hofstra ROTC, and I explained my case. About 3 inches worth of medical waivers later, I signed up with the Army.
And he came over and said, by the way, I'm an ROTC. It's like, what exactly does that mean? He goes, well, when I graduate, I'll be commissioned a second lieutenant in the Army. So I said, listen, it's not what I wanted for you, but that's what you want to do. I support you. I raised you to be a man. That's the decision you made. And, I'm fine with it.
Graduated in 2010 in May as a second lieutenant.
My heart was breaking because I knew, just watching the news, he was going to go. And then he went to Virginia, and then he went to Texas, and then he came home one weekend, and he said, I need to talk to you and Dad before I go back. And I said, okay. And he said, I'll be leaving for Afghanistan. And I cried and cried and cried for weeks, and then we flew out there.
She cried every day
And
for a year.
I felt like I cried for 10 years,
I was convoy commander of a gun truck security platoon. We provided security for the vehicles that couldn't provide for themselves. Did 12 months there. It was good days and bad days. Came home from the Army, took the Nassau County Police test in December of 2012, and got the results back about a year later. And at that point, I was in my window, my contract window, to either stay in the Army or leave. And I left the Army, I left active duty September 1st, and signed with Nassau County Police Department October 3rd. Did the academy for the last 7 months, and I'm in the 1st precinct now, and loving it.
Ricky Bruno's a hero, plain and simple. He fought his way through chemo treatments and never quit fighting. He comes home and immediately serves his community, putting his life on the line again. The man's a champion, a warrior, and there's a special place close by where champions live and warriors get honored. I invited Ricky and his family to Yankee Stadium for a hookup. They thought the free tickets and food were the hookup, but I had a few more surprises in store. It started with a tour of the stadium.
I see the back of someone talking to Mr. Steiner, and I look back over, and then finally I'm looking, and then everyone's looking at me, and I'm like, that guy looks so familiar.
When we walked into this room, Johnny Damon was standing there. I was like, oh my God, that's Johnny Damon.
And he turned around, and I was like, oh my God, oh my God.
Hey guys. Hey, what's happening? Hey. You guys doing it right?
Yeah.
Hey. Hey, yeah, I'm Johnny Damon, man. Nice to meet you guys.
Oh, man.
I told Johnny Damon about Ricky's story, and Johnny told me he wanted to meet him. It was an honor for both of them.
I can't say I've met many celebrities in my life, maybe one or two in passing, but to have him looking at me and just saying, hey, what's up? Amazing, amazing.
Then your brother's here?
Brothers, this is my older brother Bobby.
Okay.
My younger brother Tommy.
All right.
My
nice.
father Judge Bruno. My mother Joanne. They were inspirational rock behind me, going through everything.
You guys want to snap some pictures and
Absolutely,
some fun things?
Absolutely.
After meeting Johnny, it was time to take the family out onto hallowed ground.
Walking out into the field is amazing. So I'm thinking of all the movies I've ever seen where people walk out into the field, they do the 360 when they turn around, and I went out there, and the first thing I did was touch the grass, pick up a little bit of the dirt, and then just did the spin. And we walked to behind home plate, and once again I thought that's where it was going to end. Like, hey Rick, this is what we wanted to show you. I want to show you Yankees Field. And if it would have stopped there, I would have been more than happy right there. I mean, the day was perfect. Once I saw people going out and getting recognized for certain awards, I kind of look over and I'm like, hey, I think they might be doing something for me.
Please recognize the area behind home plate and welcome Ricky Bruno to Yankee Stadium. And here's your welcome to half of the Yankees, this pitcher, number 55, Brian Mitchell.
It was a pretty proud moment, not only for me as father, but I think for, his mother and his brothers, to all be there. And I couldn't help thinking myself, does it get any better to be at Yankee Stadium standing on home plate being announced? I mean, really.
This was a moment that I felt Ricky Bruno and his family really needed and rightfully deserved.
I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop. I want to take a breath, and I want to put all of it behind me. I don't want to think about it. The first thing when I open my eyes every day, and the last thing when I go to bed at night, wondering, is it ever gonna come back? Because he's so happy. It's like his dreams, he's finally reached them. And it's like every goal he's set, he's accomplished. And I want him to be happy.
It did kind of put an end to the Odyssey, if you will, in a strange way. It was the first time that I can remember him really being recognized in a way for kind of overcoming the illness and achieving what is achieved by, if you will, a third party. Through Mr. Steiner's organization, you know, you're standing there listening to, here's Ricky, a cancer survivor, combat veteran from Afghanistan, who's now a police officer. It really just pulled it all together. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, we've arrived, we're back, you know. Not only for Rick, but like as a family, you know, we're back together again.
There's a couple days I hold on to. The 1 year, the 1 year anniversary of me finding out, you know, I was cancer free. The day I got back from Afghanistan and saw my family waiting for me. I got to march my platoon in, and I saw my family and all my friends there. And I will put that day at Yankee Stadium up there. And those are the days you're having a rough day, or you know, you're just upset, or stuff's not going your way, that I can look back and hold on to the experience that Steiner Company provided for me. So it's without a doubt one of the best experiences of my life.
I'm so glad to have a chance to give Ricky Bruno the hookup. And it's nice to know somebody like him is on the streets of Long Island keeping us safe every day. And if you know of somebody that's in need of a hookup, hit me up. Let me know. And until next time, take care.